Decentralized exchanges, DEXs, are undoubtedly in the spotlight this year in 2023, especially after everything that happened with FTX. In 2022, KyberSwap was the biggest decentralized exchange you've probably never heard of. It executed billions of dollars in transactions for lots of platforms that you do know. Billions as in $8 billion across 14 different chains. So let's see what they've been up to and why you should be using them to get great prices on your swaps this year in 2023. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie. This is Altcoin Buzz. Best of luck, as always, if you choose to invest, but I am not a financial advisor. Don't take this to be official financial or investment advice. It is not. Let's take a look back to KyberSwap in 2022. So as a DEX aggregator, KyberSwap's role is to provide liquidity and great prices for swaps. And they do so across many different apps, different protocols, different chains. And you can't have the deepest liquidity and best prices as Kyber does without working to continuously improve your offerings. Here's some of what Kyber accomplished last year. So in the summer, KyberSwap launched Elastic, and the goal of Elastic was to give liquidity providers maximum flexibility on how and when to deploy their money to maximize earnings. The way they do this is by allowing LPs to set customized ranges for each token pair. So this also means better pricing for us swappers and less slippage at the same time. There was also integration with multi-chain, and this is a big one for interoperability. And since Kyber works, of course, on 14 chains, it's very significant. With this October integration, you can bridge tokens between any two chains Kyber supports and do it seamlessly and as part of the same swap transaction. It's hard to think of anything that makes DeFi easier and more accessible for people than this. KyberSwap is letting essentially anyone move any coins across any of 14 different chains. Then there was also a big partnership with Transact. And look, if there's anything that makes DeFi easier for people than seamless bridging, it might just be an easier on-ramp into crypto. This July announcement of the partnership with Transact allowed people to onboard to DeFi directly with debit or credit cards, with Google Pay, Apple Pay, with bank transfers, or even SEPA. All of it means that it's never been easier to start off and get into DeFi, and with all the swapping and farm options on KyberSwap, newbies don't need to jump around to 6 or more different protocols either. So during 2022, KyberSwap became the top DEX for the big Ethereum Layer 2 networks, Arbitrum and Optimism. Its growing relationship with liquid staking leader Lido Finance is one big reason. Easy bridging between these Layer 2s and Ethereum itself is another reason. And it's the number 3 DEX on Polygon and growing rapidly there as well. Many people across all kinds of different chains are finding out how easy it is to use KyberSwap. They keep coming back to use it again and again. And you may have noticed the trend around these big 4 items. It's all about making KyberSwap products and services better, more accessible to more people, more efficient for all users, easier to get started, as I mentioned, and easier and more efficient to make money. Okay, so what's the plan for 2023? Well, the first cool thing that KyberSwap did in the new year was move to a beautiful new HQ in Hanoi, Vietnam. And they're putting that new space to good use with lots of things on the roadmap for 2023. As you've seen from the 2022 accomplishments, usually what Kyber Network plans to do, they get done, they achieve it. So here's what's lined up right now for 2023. First of all, the improvement of UI and UX, that's user interface and user experience on KyberSwap. The Kyber Network saw how CeFi had negative effects on the whole industry last year, as we all did. So goal number 1 is to get more people to move from CeFi to DeFi. This is already consistent with goals from previous years, like, for example, expanding DeFi access for more people. And one important way to get more people to adopt DeFi is by having a smooth, easy user experience, because both the user interface and the user experience, that's how users like us use KyberSwap, and it's how they are planning to improve over the coming year. A couple of tools that will help them in this area are limit orders for buying and selling, as well as adding perpetual contracts. Perpetual contracts are futures contracts with no deadline date in the future. They are driving tons of volume and growth at GMX and DYDX, so this is a smart move for KyberSwap. The team is also researching other functions that traders and holders might both want as potential added features in the new year. Limit orders are already here. Some of the other functions currently under research right now include portfolio management tools, investing by DCA, that's dollar cost averaging in a pre-programmed way so you can set it and forget it, and improvements to their aggregator smart contracts so they can access better prices across more chains than they currently do. You're also going to get more liquidity mining campaigns. Liquidity mining is a big theme for KyberSwap, and that's because KyberSwap is one of the few places in crypto that has good liquidity right now. And it's looking for even more, better, and cheaper liquidity to offer on its DEX. The deal with Lido for working with both Lido staked Ether and a wrapped version was a big step in doing more with liquid staking, but it's not the only thing Kyber did, and they aren't stopping with Lido either. That partnership, of course, will grow in 2023. So will the partnership with fellow DEX and MAI stablecoin issuer KeyDAO. The new trading grant program, starting with ZK Bob and Umami Finance, is attracting more big DeFi ecosystem players. The program is a group of trading contests involving using KyberSwap to swap or trade and earning Kyber's native KNC token as a reward. The ZK Bob contest, which is a zero-knowledge stablecoin protocol on Polygon, that goes until February 6. It is on 4 chains, including Polygon, BNB, Optimism, and Ethereum. Now, these contests are a good example of what KyberSwap is doing to get new users to try out their DEX. They know, of course, that if someone tries it and sees how good it is, they're going to come back and use it again. The Umami contest, that goes until February 6th as well. It also has many of the same incentives to try using both platforms that we also see in the ZK Bob contest. They also have a very lofty ambition of becoming a top DEX. Now, this is certainly an ambitious goal, and yet they're already a top DEX in the first place. In the last week, for example, KyberSwap was in the top 5 in total swap volume. TVL, or total value locked for the pools and farms, is climbing as well, and in TVL they are number 15 and growing pretty quickly. The huge TVL DEXs of Uniswap, Curve, and Pancakeswap are in the top 3, and yes, it'll be tough to equal them. But one thing KyberSwap has that the others don't is more access to more chains. Uniswap is great, but it's ETH and related L2s only. Curve specializes in its stablecoin pools, great for volume, but not great for non-stablecoin swappers. And Pancakeswap does a good job too, but they specialize in BNB Smart Chain. So while there are other differences behind the scenes, like the way KyberSwap routes transactions for swapping, the biggest edge KyberSwap has over these platforms is a belief in a multi-chain future. If you believe in that, as we do here, then KyberSwap is a good bet to grow from here.